Minnesota is bracing for a rare and deliberate act of resistance as anger grows over the federal government's intensified immigration crackdown. Across the state, community leaders, workers, business owners, and activists say the pressure has reached a breaking point. And this time, they are responding not just with words, but with economic force. On Friday, hundreds of businesses are expected to go dark in what organizers are calling an economic blackout. Stores will close. Work will pause. Spending will stop. The idea is simple and confrontational. If communities are ignored, the economy they sustain will make itself felt. At the same time, a major rally is planned in downtown Minneapolis. Demonstrators are expected to gather under the slogan "ICE out of Minnesota," urging residents to stay home, avoid shopping, and step away from work or school for the day. For organizers, the goal isn't disruption for its own sake, but visibility. They want the impact to be impossible to dismiss. At the center of the outrage is a case that has deeply unsettled many Minnesotans. A 5-year-old boy and his father were detained by federal immigration agents outside their home near Minneapolis. According to the family's attorney, the pair were legally present in the United States and actively pursuing an asylum claim. They were not accused of fleeing or resisting arrest. Still, both were taken into custody. They are now being held together at a family detention facility in Texas. The boy's mother, who is pregnant, remains in Minnesota, separated from her husband, separated from her child. For many protesters, this single moment crystallized their fears. Not just about enforcement, but about what they see as a system that no longer weighs human cost against procedure. Tensions escalated further after a protest inside a church in St. Paul led to 3 arrests. Demonstrators had disrupted a service to oppose a pastor who reportedly holds a senior position within ICE. Federal officials indicated more arrests could follow. The response exposed sharp political fractures. Minneapolis Democratic mayor publicly criticized one of the arrests, while the White House welcomed the enforcement action. The clash underscored how immigration has become not just a policy dispute, but a test of power between local leaders and federal authority. The unrest is not confined to Minnesota. In Portland, Maine, federal agents detained a correctional officer recruit in a residential neighborhood. Local officials confirmed the detention, but the Department of Homeland Security has yet to publicly comment. At the same time, ICE has arrested more than 100 people across Maine as part of a newly launched operation. Lawmakers there warn that the heightened federal presence is spreading fear through communities already on edge. In Chicago, a related but very different case produced an unexpected outcome. A jury found one Espinoza Martinez not guilty of charges, that he offered a $10,000 bounty on the life of a Border Patrol commander through Snapchat messages. Prosecutors pointed to messages sent to relatives and a government informant. The defense argued there was no money, no plan, and no attempt to act on the statements. The jury agreed. Espinoza Martinez, who has lived in the United States for more than 3 decades without legal status, walked free on that charge. As protests grow, officials continue to trade blame. Vice President J.D. Vance, during a visit to Minneapolis, accused local authorities of refusing to cooperate with federal enforcement, arguing that this resistance is precisely why ICE maintains such a visible presence in the city. He also acknowledged that allegations of agent misconduct, including a fatal shooting under investigation, require scrutiny. At the same time, Border Patrol leadership claims their agents are being harassed and followed by protesters, describing confrontations in public places that they say local officials have failed to curb. Adding to the tension is a newly revealed memo that has alarmed civil rights advocates. The document suggests ICE agents may now have authority to enter homes without a judge-signed warrant under certain conditions. Legal experts warn that this shift could dramatically escalate encounters between officers and the public, increasing the risk of mistakes, fear, and violence. As Minnesota prepares for its economic blackout, the message from organizers is blunt. This is no longer a theoretical debate about policy. It is a nationwide confrontation over authority, civil rights, and the human cost of enforcement. And for many, Friday is meant to make that confrontation impossible to ignore.